How are you? Thank you for being here today. It has been a long day. Very, very long day. And I was thinking about this quote that I've heard from a while ago. It's when a man loses his purpose, he replaces it with pleasure. So, an easier way to understand this saying is, when a man loses his purpose, he doesn't collapse the right way. He fills the silence with pleasure. So what does he do? He distracts himself with pleasure. Because the purpose is no longer there. And maybe that's where I'm at right now. Something you've been working on for so long. Just to fail again. Because I was not able to change. I kept on repeating the same habit, making the same choices and decisions, and I expect things to be different than it is, than it was. This was probably gonna be one of the worst days, but then guess what? I went to my podcast on YouTube, and actually there were people were listening to the podcast, and they even pressed like buttons, and I had a lot of comments saying that they like it. And it was like, it felt like a light at the end of the tunnel for me. I know, a couple people commenting on your podcast. It doesn't sound like much, right? But imagine standing in front of 10 people, 20 people in a room. That's a lot. And here I am saying that's not enough, that's not a lot. But it is. What episode we on now? 307, 308? Around there. Never thought this day would come. But I kept on doing it. But it felt great. It felt great when you finally see the works you've been putting out actually make an impact on people. And maybe these losses that I've been going through, they're not that important after all. Do I really need the investment account to work out? It was never what I wanted to in the first place. Money is not everything, but yet money is king. You need money for everything in this world. Money is power. And that's one of the things that I have to come to terms with, is that no matter your relationship with someone, but when it's come to money, it becomes different. People act differently when it's come to money. It's just strange, even when you're family. And it's just sad, but that's just a reality. And it just made me realize that there are a lot of things we can learn. A lot of things we need to realize that they are not always what we thought they were, And I guess that's just part of growing up. Realizing that nobody cares. Everybody is too busy focusing on their life and their own good. So why don't you just worry about yourself and stop worrying about other people so much, and then get disappointed when you're not receiving the same amount as you give out to others. And I guess that's just part of life too, is to learn from the mistakes, learn from just living, knowing that you know nothing, that there are a lot of things you can still learn, and there are many things you don't know. Yet, I thought today was gonna be the end of me, but it was. It was. And it is. Maybe it's time for me to leave that version of me behind. Because if I keep on holding on to that version of me, keep on making the same mistakes, choices, over and over again, I cannot expect my life to be any different than this, any better than this. Because I keep on winding back here again. Sorry. And again. And it's hard, It's hard to break out of yourself and do things uncomfortable. And take the leap of faith. It's like your body getting used to you playing video games all day. It's like now all of a sudden you want to stop. That's hard. It's like you go to bed late at night every night, and now you want to go bed early. Go to bed early. That's hard, It's like a shock to your system. And it's like you're a quiet person all the time, and now you want to be like a loud one, the one that talk a lot. That's hard, It's like every changes that I try to implement into my life is all ended up turning back to who I was before. It's like I keep on winding back here again, and I'm the same person I was months ago, or years ago. And I've been trying to change. But you know what I realized? I realized that the change I've been wanting, they don't come from just one day change, or one day you just decide that you're just gonna be a whole different person. I realized that it's not how it works. Well, how do I know that? Well, let's say about going to the gym. Maybe that's the only thing that I've been very consistent about. Well, and this podcast. But what I've learned from going to the gym is that you don't grow that muscle overnight, over a week, over a weekend, over a month. But it takes a lot of consistency and repetitions, repeating over and over again, over a long period of times. And it's been like maybe 4 or 5 months now since I moved out and live by myself. And I've been going to the gym consistent, and then, you know what? I've been gaining about 19 pounds, 18 pounds. And I look leaner. I have more muscles. I became a totally different person. When I look at myself in the mirror, I look much bigger now. But it was never because I decided to change my habit that last month. But it was when I changed my habits 5 months ago, 6 months ago, I think, or even 7, I think. I don't even remember. But I moved in at the beginning of August the 1st. Anyway, so maybe, no, not maybe, but for certain, is that if I want to be a better version of myself, I want to accomplish certain things, trying to get to somewhere in life. I cannot expect life to be different tomorrow or next week. But it's like, I have to show up every day. And it doesn't have to be like a huge change. It can just be a little change. But I just need to be aware and know that I am making changes every day. And I'm sorry, it was a TV. But I have to accept that this is what life is. This is the cause of becoming the person you want to be. This is what it takes. The boring, mundane, dog shit works. The works that you have to put in that doesn't give you any rewards or dopamines. You just keep on doing it with no result for a long period of time. Just like working out. You don't see results right away, but you have to keep putting in the work. And eventually, it will grow like a seed. You plant, and it's slowly growing. It is what it is. And losses. Maybe the losses today that I took, it was meant to be. Because it hurt so bad. I have to force myself to change. I have to force myself to stop doing what I was doing. Because my brain, my body, doesn't want to feel these pains anymore. And now it's forcing me to change. Forcing me to take the leap. and venture into the unknown and trying things differently and stop doing the same shit that get me here every time. And you know what it is that you're doing wrong. You know exactly what it is that you're doing wrong. But you just can't help but trying to make things work because you keep on convincing yourself that the things you've been doing is right. The method, the choices, the way of doing things you thought were right. But if they were, you wouldn't be here over and over and over again. And it's hard to swallow, it's a hard pill to swallow. But it is what it is. And lives move on. And every day is a day less, one day less for you to live. You gotta realize that you don't have forever. You can't just sitting around and wasting your time, You don't have forever. And you have to realize that. You're not gonna live forever. But you only have one life. And what you do with it matter. So whether you're sitting here and dwelling onto the past mistakes and failures, things you wish you'd done, things you wish you didn't do, are you just gonna sit here and complain and dwell onto the past? Or take a step back and realize that you fucked up. You got yourself stuck. And you are the only person to blame. No one but yourself. Think about it. Think about it. One life. One life. Wherever you are, I just want you to know that we all have one life. And the things we do, the work we committed to, the choices we made. One day we're gonna grow old and we're gonna look back to these days. You know what I'm trying to say. But at the end of the day, it's your choice. It's your choice to stay here or venture to somewhere else. Venture into the unknown, and maybe you'll find something better. Or not. But at least one day you'll lay on your deathbed and you know that you did the best you could. You asked that girl out. You did the best you could. You take the chance on that job offer. You move. You did the things that you were afraid of. You did everything that you were promising yourself that you were going to do. And you did it all. And you did it all. Even though it didn't turn out how you wanted. But at least you know you took a shot. You tried the best you could. And that's a great life. It doesn't have to be pretty. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to turn out like how you imagined. But as long as you took the chance, you did the best you could with all that you had at the time, that always mattered. Because dying with regrets, that's probably the worst things ever, in my opinion. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope I'll see you in the next one.